Hey guys, and welcome back. So Tuesday, another trading day in the bag, and we're ending it nicely in the green today. I wasn't crazy about our lead gappers, I'm not gonna lie. Even NAOV, I mean, it had promise. I like the 5 million float, but at the same time, the long-term chart just didn't show a lot of upside. We'll talk about that much more in detail when we go to the charts, but it had a 5 million float and it was up over 100% pre-market, which is like, thank baby Jesus, because we've been waiting for small caps to get a little bit more life in them. Lately, we've been seeing like 15-20% pre-market small caps. It's just been slow. In quarter 1, 2, and the first part of quarter 3, I mean, we were seeing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700% lead gappers all the time pre-market. It was just like a fun place to be. And you know, lately, especially in August and September, it's been extremely slow. So guys, I think there's some great day trading lessons here today. Let's see what we can pull out of the trades we're gonna be reviewing. Don't forget to drop a like below if you enjoy the content. If you're totally new here, consider subscribing, especially if you wanna learn a little bit more about swing trading. There's a few more swing trades that we did today, and we talk about them every day on the live stream, on the second half of the live stream, which starts at 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and you'll get a notification next time we go live, which is tomorrow morning. All right, guys, after the charts we go. Let's talk about these tickers. All right, guys, welcome back. So in this recap, we are going to be obviously focusing on BOXL and NAOV, but I'll also talk about DTEA and GME, why I didn't really end up trading those two as much, because I think there's some good lessons there as well. Overall, wrapping up today here with $454 profit. I think we had about 8 trades today, nothing really too crazy. Could have been much more, but I don't know. I like the opportunities we had. I got aggressive. I felt like when I saw them, and I didn't really, trade too much chop. So I felt pretty happy about today. DTEA. This was, I think, the first ticker we were trading today, and it was actually our lead gapper on the day, but it really did not perform nicely. 14 million float. Canadian Foods Company quarterly 2 results. Tends to do a little bit better, those quarterly 2 results. Yeah, so pre-market, this thing was, over VWAP, looking pretty good. When we were here in this area, when I was first checking, I was like, okay, well, not too bad. Then I was offline a little bit. I came back here sometime at like 6:40, and I was like, this thing really kind of dipped below VWAP, and a lot of sell volume really felt selling off here. And then we were talking about, I probably won't trade this one until we see some bigger support around 110 or something like that. So let's actually go back here. We know we had big support around $1 because that's a psychological support resistance zone. We also had some retests in this area, and then kind of like 108, 110. So I was thinking that DTEA might have a red to green move, and it did right around here, 8%, bounced up here a little bit. And it actually did break higher at one point, a little 2% pop. The problem was, at this point, you typically see, here the bounce, and then at least a 9 EMA retest or goes to VWAP, right? That's the red to green move. You're looking for a red open and then green on the day, right? Or a green candle, a red candle turn into a green candle on the daily chart, right over here. Let me move this over here a little bit. We didn't get that, and we saw a lot of it just was looking very weak. I would have not been surprised at all if this pulled back again 5%. So I was like, I'm out of here. I'm not going to wait for this consolidation. It was just not what I was looking for. Closed it. At no other point was I super stoked to jump on this trade. Maybe it could have been a possible entry around 103 or some here near dollar, just trading like simple zones. But it would have been a lot of kind of just like hoping and waiting and low volume, and just not a ticker you want to get, crazy about. GME, this one, GameStop, this one has a lot of publicity at the moment. They also came out with RC Ventures having a stake of roughly 10%, 9.98% stake in the company. Apparently this is a very forward kind of like an activist kind of investor, so kind of has a big name behind them, and you guys could check that out more on your own time if you guys want to do that. Let's see if there's a little bit more of an article, but yeah, I was like, okay, that's kind of like a nice, interesting catalyst, but I was a little bit worried here because, we knew $11 was big resistance, $12 big resistance. What I did like about this one is if you go to the 4-hour, we're on a really nice upwards trend. We had a good, healthy pullback here. I actually missed my entry here below 8.5. I'm still, my swing trade limit order, I'm still kicking myself about that one. I did like the $10 support zone. So trading $10 was something I was actually really interested in. And actually, that's what I ended up doing on GME If you go here to filled orders, GME was actually my first trade of the day. I bought here at 1036 and then sold my first entry at 1043. Yeah, so it was, where was that? I think it was in this bounce right here. I was looking for that. Actually, no, I don't know why my trades aren't popping up right now. It's always a little bit annoying. Actually, we'll quickly find it here. We'll take a second out. 12:31:16, 5 hours back based on my time zone right now in Peniche, Portugal. So yeah, that is 8:31. Where's that? 8:31. So yeah, I traded here this little dip and was looking for that quick little retest here. So very, very simple move. Nothing really too flashy. Traded a quick move there. Yeah. And when I'm trading VWAP cracks, we'll actually talk about a move very similar to this one. I'm not looking for a blow-away trade. I would have actually liked to trade GME on this red to green move. I think this red to green move here towards $10 was a very, very promising move. I would have loved to jump on this one, but I was so focused on the ticker we made the most money on. Actually, that's not true. I think I was most focused on BOXL at the time. But anyway, we'll talk about BOXL first and then go to this one. And this is why I was not trading GME. But we could talk about GME very quickly here. What do I think about it? Well, I do think we're approaching huge resistance zones. I would be a little bit careful here. I do see this maybe running to 12. This has been a really, really strong run up, and I would probably expect this to have a little bit longer of a consolidation phase or a quick pullback at one point. We did technically get that though already, so maybe we're going to see this at least have a nice little move up to 12 before we see a little bit more reckoning on this one. So 12.2, I could definitely see that on GME. I'm not used to day trading BOXL for some reason. This one, 44 million float, U.S. communications equipment company with a $22 million in funding agreement. Now that's actually kind of big news because BOXL, I think it's like a 70 million market cap company. Here we go. BOXL, 84 million market cap. So a $22 million funding is actually kind of big news. We know this one is a former runner. We've had several spikes on this one in the past. What I feel about this one though is it's on the backside of a bigger move, and I was a little bit cautious about that on its own. And I was like, again, huge resistance right here in these areas, and we checked this one out pre-market. We're already having issues going above 1.8. So this is one of those zones where I was going to be already a little bit more cautious of. I really did like how this one was kind of trading here. Nice little pop higher here, kind of holding the highs. We didn't go lower than, I think 10% pre-market. A little bit above VWAP, a little bit below it. Had a quick flash right here. I missed this. I was not looking at BOXL at the time. I was still looking at DTEA out of the gates. I was focused on DTEA and NAOV. And that's why I missed BOXL up to this point. Around 9:45, I started watching this one, and I was like, okay, nice little flag pattern formation. I actually should have bought here. This was a nice breakout, 6%. But what I did instead, I bought the pullback here. Boom, quick pullback, and then I sold here on the move higher. I sold way too quickly, though. I sold at 81. So that was only 3 cents a share. I really didn't get that much money out of this one. And that's because this all of a sudden flash pullback, and then the selling pressure really, really looked strong. And then it only bounced a little bit at first. And I sold at that first little bounce. And then it kind of chilled there. And then it eventually popped higher. Yeah, I probably could have let it ride a little bit longer. Eventually, I did get a pullback here on BOXL towards VWAP. Sold this one a little bit too soon again. But honestly, selling at 1.76 is a pretty good spot because the 9 EMA was really, really close to that zone. Wrapped up a nice, sweet little trade. And then, all of a sudden BOXL was selling off. Below VWAP, cracked a key zone right here at 173. This was a really, really key zone. We had a retest in this area, a big dip in this area, then we cracked it, and it's VWAP, right? So now we pull back all the way here, 3.62% towards a big support zone. This is a key multi-month, multi-day support zone with nice intraday retests on it. So that's why I felt like this was a really, really good trade opportunity. We had a nice bounce up over here. I got a pretty decent fill. And then I was looking for a nice move higher here back to VWAP. I again sold a little bit too soon. I didn't really know if we would break this former candle, so I closed this position again. I was actually thinking to take some profits here, and if we pulled back here to 166 very quickly, I would actually trade this again and hope that there would be a little bit of consolidation here, but didn't really get that. I think BOXL had a lot of more opportunities in it at some points, where was it? I think it was during the live stream. I was kind of getting excited about this one. I think it was right here. We broke 167 and then bounced right back above. That was actually a bullish sign. And then we've had a nice retest of 167, moved higher here. I probably would have took my profits very quickly. Another buying opportunity here. I probably would have missed this one, 4% move. Had a break of this area, nice little retest. I don't know. I think this one overall had some interesting like concentrating opportunities even into this area. The problem is after 10:30, and this is usually when we're done day trading, there was not a lot of volume left. And that's a big problem with a lot of these small caps. After 10:30, after 11, after 12, sometimes they just go flat. And then it's a little bit harder to trade. And then sometimes news comes out. It's just not a really fun place to be. Okay, so let's go here, talk about NAOV. I think a big takeaway on BLNK, honestly, is just, being quick. And actually, sorry, let me just go back to this one. Is just being really quick. Like, understand, are you on the, which move are you on, right? Are you on the upside on the way up, or BOXL, sorry. BOXL, are you on the way to the upside, like right here? This was the upside move, buying the pullbacks, right? Selling into the spikes, or are you on the backside of the move, right? Are you dipping lower below the 9 EMA and taking profits on the move to 9 EMA? I think that was a key lesson on BOXL. And that's something we talk about quite frequently. So nothing really too new there, but really good to kind of reiterate that. Now, NAOV was really the new one today, and I want to probably be a little bit more focused on this one because this is the first time in I feel like a week or two, maybe even longer, that we had a ticker over 100%. These small caps in September have been ridiculously small. They've just been like inching along a little bit here, a little bit there, a lot of like days where we only have one or two lead gappers that are only like up like 15, 20%. So it's really, really nice to see something like NAOV finally doing something. 5 million float, US medical device company. They had an FDA approval on the Euroshield for them to start selling to the US market. So you guys can check out that news. So, anytime like FDA move, news, anytime they have some sort of overall new market that they can sell into, it's always a really, really good catalyst. These guys did have an offering not too long ago, so it's kind of something to be a little bit weary about. And one way to actually identify offerings, which is kind of easy, is you don't even have to look for the news, but you can see here's a lot of volume, and this is kind of like an unholy amount of volume. It's like, why is there so much volume on this day? Well, in all honesty, it's because the float was probably increased because there was dilution. So if you go back here, we have one of these unholy kind of volume days here as well. And if we just probably scroll back a little bit more, we have one of these big unholy volume days. So it's like, technically, this volume relative to maybe this day is maybe roughly the same if there wasn't dilution, right? So that's something to keep in mind. So this one's clearly diluting the stock, and whatever price this is here, 8.5, it will never get back to those limits. I don't know. I mean, maybe it will, but most likely 99% of the time it doesn't, because there's too many new shares and the stock will never be able to pump through those numbers again because there's just so much more shares available to be selling. There's more people that just want to dump the stock, right? So any spike to the upside is going to get sold into. And that's why I typically don't invest into small caps. I day trade them. I love day trading them, but I don't invest in them. Okay, so let's go back here. So NAOV, kind of an interesting little spike up here. Kind of a late morning gapper. What a late morning gapper is like anytime there's a stock that didn't move from the day before. So oftentimes we get these gappers that actually ended up coming out with news the previous day at like 4:01 p.m. from the day before, right? So technically it had its big leg up, then extended hours the day before, then it consolidates, and then the new pre-market starts. So this one had a nice little leg up here, 130%. Didn't really sell off more than roughly what is that? This is like 15% from pre-market highs. Really, really nice. That really is a bullish sign. And did we talk about the stats on this one a little bit? 5 million float. I just really want to highlight that. This one has the spike ability. When we had this nice little move higher here, I love these VWAP breakouts. I bought this pullback and then sold here on a move on a possible breakout. It was a weak breakout, so I kind of took my profits a little bit early, but this was a kind of cool move. Bigger size too, about $3,000. Yeah. Out of the gates, I was actually waiting for NAOV to pull back to $1. That was kind of like my goal. or like buying on like $1.03 or something like that. Didn't get it. This thing actually broke higher here, and then this was my favorite part. We had one move higher here, and then another candle that actually held its highs. Now, I was actually saying this pre-market that I don't like buying the pullbacks and then looking for the continuations, even though technically that's what this would be. The problem is, usually it'll be like a big green candle here and then a big red candle back down, right? What I liked about this candle, it made me very bullish on this ticker, and what is why I entered, is actually this green candle held the highs. Now, like, that's like something you really have to highlight there a little bit. Holding the highs is something that's really, really fundamental with day trading. You always want to make sure the stock doesn't just give back its gains right away, right? That means it was just, a fake out or yada, yada. But this one, since it's held highs, that's a very, very bullish signal. So since it did that, and we were pulling back to VWAP and the 9-minute EMA, and this was a lead gapper with a low float, and it was over 100% up on the day, I was like, there's no way I'm not going to take this trade. So I entered here, and like, I did want to be a little bit cautious, so I entered with 2,000 shares, bought the pullback here, and then we had a nice rip past 20. That was my goal, and I sold there on the move to 20. That was my goal. I was thinking I wanted to sell originally on the break of 20, but then I was like, like, this just, I don't know. I don't want to be up 5% or something like that and all of a sudden give back my profits. I would probably cry. So yeah, took my profits there. Could have probably maybe bought back in this area, but that's a little bit more risky. Here, this was actually kind of a cool entry. We bought here at 119, bought a little bit too soon. There was a lot of selling pressure, and I knew that this one was kind of flushy. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to close this entry, and this was a scratch for me. I bought and sold exactly the same price. Ended up, being true. It did sell off 3 more cents, which is actually kind of a lot. That's 2.3%. So that would have cost me, what was that, like, I don't know, $60 or so. So at the same time, like, kind of a good thing that I got out on that one. Or I could have averaged down, but I don't know if I would have averaged down on NAOV. I wasn't really in the flow with NAOV. So yeah, I kind of left this one. Unfortunately, it actually did end up going up 12%. I should have been maybe a little bit more lenient. I was really cautious with this ticker though, because I knew like 1.3, 1.4 and 1.5 were all huge resistance zones, and I didn't really want to be playing around with these areas. So that's why I was like really happy to kind of get out of this one. And I didn't really feel comfortable trading it the rest of the day. Had some good opportunities, a nice little bull flag here, solid breakout. It's just really interesting opportunities, but at the same time, I felt like I was going to do something silly on this ticker, so I was really happy to just walk away with it. Now, what do I think NAOV is going to do? Honestly, I don't really see a long-term game in this one. I'd be a little bit scared it's going to come out with another offering. It's going to keep selling off. Right now, it's holding its highs really, really well, though, and maybe it's going to have a move past 1.3. Maybe it's going to have one of those power hour moves. Power hour is the last hour of the market open, so from 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maybe it's going to have a little rocket past 1.3 and have that afternoon soar. Who knows? It could happen. I like, the 5 million float. I like the news. There's a lot going for it. And technically, it might have room to run all the way to 2. So if it did have an afternoon run past the 1.3, past the 1.4, and past the 1.5, I would expect this to go all the way to $2. And that's some decent upside. That's 60% upside from where we are right now. So yeah, this could definitely be a ticker we might see later today. Right now it's low volume, but that's just kind of lunchtime typical. So let's see what happens. NAOV could be the one to be watching in the evening. Let me know. Are you guys going to be trading NAOV in the evening? What are you guys doing? Are you guys optimistic on this one? Do you think it's going to be maybe even a second day gapper? Or are you going to pretty much wrap up with this one and leave it as it is? Let me know in the comments below, and drop a like, guys, if you enjoy the content, if you learned something. One thing to keep in mind as well, NAOV, the past spikers on this one don't hold the highs well. It looks like a lot of these spikes to the upside ended up dipping down. Opened here, maybe pulled a little bit higher, and then sold off. Same with this one. And here, we checked it out pre-market on the 5-minute, and this one all pre-market ran up, and then before it even opened, totally sold off again. So you want to be a little bit careful with a ticker like this. And this is actually why I thought there was going to be a red to green move, because that's what happened last time. So yeah, that's what I think about NAOV. I'm a little bit careful with this one. I probably won't be trading it, but right now we're having a beautiful leg up and then consolidation, and then maybe we're going to see a second leg up, because that's typically what we look for when we're day trading. If you actually go here to pre-market, that's exactly what we had as well. We had a nice leg up, consolidation, right, and then another break to the upside. That's always the gap and go strategy in a nutshell, right? That's basically the 101 of the gap and go strategy. All right, guys, that's everything for this video. Drop a like if you enjoyed the content, and if you're totally new here, consider subscribing. Join us on our live streams. We go live every morning at 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to review the watch list and then trade the market open. We'd love to see you there. Till then, stay safe, make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.